Hello everybody, and welcome to today's video lesson. This is periods 5 and 6, advanced topics in math studies, and today we're going to talk about section 7.2 part 1. We're going to move on and talk about the law of cosines. Back in 7.1 we dealt with the law of sines and used it to help us solve triangles, solve for missing angles and sides. And in 7.2 part 1 we're going to use a certain equation called the law of cosines to help us solve the triangle, because you can't always start off using the law of sines depending on the parts of the triangle you're given. In part 1 today, what we're going to do is use the law of cosines, and we're going to be given this information. We're going to know 2 of the side lengths, and we're going to know 1 of the angles. Now that angle that we know is the included angle. And like we talked about in part 1, like we talked about in section 7.1, remember the included angle is the angle in between the 2 sides. Okay? What we're going to do today is we're going to start off solving for the 3rd side. We know 2 of the sides. And what we do is we solve for that 3rd side first. So we're going to use the law of cosines, which is this equation right here in the box, and we're going to solve for the 3rd missing side. The law of sines can't help us do this. We have to use this equation, the law of cosines. Remember that the 2 sides are lowercase letters, and the included angles are always uppercase letters. So in this equation, A is the included angle, and B and C are the 2 included sides. This 3rd side that we're solving for first is A. Now these letters could change. The main thing is that these 2 are different. Those are the 2 sides you're given, and this is the angle that you're given. And the whatever letters over here, whatever letter you don't have, that's what you're solving for. Okay? So again, the letters can be different. And the right side of the equation are the 2 sides of the included angle. Here on the right side, we plug those in. It's very simple. And the left side of the equation, right here, that is the 3rd unknown side, the one we're going to solve for first. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and do an example and see how this equation works. All right, now you might be given the triangle sketched out. You might not. You might just be given the information like right here. Either way, you can do the problem using the equation. Just in case you're given the actual sketch or triangle drawn out, let's go ahead and sketch it out for this example. So just a generic triangle ABC will work. Let's go ahead and label angle B is 62. A and C, which this is side A across from A, is 19.2. And this side C is opposite or across from C, 16.4. So again, you'll see that this is the included angle between the 2 sides you're given, made from the 2 sides. And these are the 2 sides. So again, it might not be A and C, it might be B and C. The 2 sides might be A and B. It just depends. And you might not be given angle B. It might be angle C or angle A. But notice how the 3 letters are different. It's always like that when you have 2 sides and the included angle. The 3 letters will be different. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to plug the 2 sides in the angle, into the right side of the equation, and we're going to solve for the left side, which actually in this case is side B. Okay, so we're really going for B here. You know, it really doesn't matter what letter you call it. You're solving for this third side first. Okay, so we have one side squared plus the other side squared. So 19.2 squared plus 16.4 squared minus 2 times the product of both sides times the cosine of A, which is the cosine of this angle, which really is B, cosine of 62. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to simply follow PEMDAS and start evaluating the side, the right side of the equation. So what we can do is we can square both of these and then add them together. When you square and add them, you get 637.6. You can find out the cosine of 62 degrees. Make sure your calculator is set to degrees. You get about 0.4695, 0.469 will do. And you can actually go ahead and multiply this entire group together. The 2 times this side, times that decimal. So let's do that next. And you get about 295.4. Next, we subtract. You get 342.2. Now, we haven't touched this b squared side the whole way through, so we still have b squared on the left equals 342.2, and the last step is to take the square root. So we take the square root of 342.2, and we can approximate that out to 1 decimal place, and that will be the third side. So when we square root this, we get about 18.5. All right, so back up at the triangle, this side is 18.5. Now, we need these 2 angles. We have 1 angle. We're going to now use the law of sines, okay, from 7.1, the simple law of sines formula, to solve for one of these 2 angles. It does not matter which one you go for. Let's just go for angle A here, okay? So angle A across from 19.2, and you're going to use 62 degrees across from 18.5, all right? So law of sines next. So the sine of 62 over 18.5 equals the sine of A over 19.2. All right, we can punch in the sine of 62, 0.883. All right, we multiply these 2 and divide by 18.5, so 19.2 times 0.883. Divide that by 18.5. And we get 0.916. And we set that equal to sine of A. And now we do inverse sine of 0.916. And we get the angle A. So inverse sine, 0.916, about 66 degrees rounded to the nearest whole number. All right, so back up in the triangle, 66 degrees. And the last angle we need is up here. And now that we have two angles, we can simply subtract from 180. And it should be 52. Let me double check the math. And yes, we get 52 degrees. And there we have it. We have solved for the missing parts. We've solved the triangle, the one missing side, and the other two missing angles. So again, quick recap. You have to start off by using the law of cosines to solve for the third side. And then you can use the law of sines to get either of the other two angles. And then you can simply subtract the two angles you have now from 180 to get the third angle. All right, guys, that's it for 7.2 part 1. Y'all take care and stay healthy. See you next time.